Hi there, and welcome to day 4 of your spoken English classes. All right, so I just want to start by saying that yesterday we learned how simple sentence building can transform your fluency. However, today we are going to focus on 5 golden structures that 90% of confident speakers use every day. Now, these 5 most useful speaking structures help to increase your proficiency in the way you speak English. All right. If you master these 5 patterns that I'm going to let you know in a bit, you will sound clear, natural, and confident, even at a beginner or a B1 level. So let's get started. All right. Let's just look at the 5 structures firstly. So, when I say the 5 most useful speaking structures, I mean that the ones that you can find on the screen. That is, I think, I feel, I prefer, I usually, and I want to. Now, when I say structures, I mean these phrases are something that every person is quite known to and they use it very prominently in their day to day life. But how exactly these simple structures help a person to sound proficient is what we are going to look at next. Okay, great. Let's move on to the section 2, and here we are going to talk about the explanation of each of the structures. Okay, so the 5 structures explained is what is coming next, and we are going to take a closer look at examples also. So here, the first structure, I think. Okay, I think helps you to express your opinions. All right. Okay, along with it, it also helps you to put across your ideas and your personal thoughts very quickly, that is, and it makes your answer sound natural and confident, especially when you're not sure how to begin. This structure is very common in conversations, in interviews, and an exam known as the IELTS or the PTA exam, which many students give in order to go abroad. All right. So let's look at some examples. So you can see on the screen, and I'm just going to kind of, highlight as I'm going ahead. So I think this class will help me speak better. See how naturally the phrase I think has kind of enhanced the whole point. All right. Second example, I think the movie was too long. I think learning English is important. Now, let us kind of look at the elaborated example on the screen and see how it sounds. I think, and the topic is on your job or study. All right, great. So I think my job is helping me grow. Every day I learn something small, like a new skill or a better way to do a task. Sometimes the work is easy and sometimes it's a bit confusing. But I think just look at the structure here. Again, there is a visual of this particular structure that we've used in order to enhance the fluency or in order to enhance the proficiency of English. Okay, but I think these challenges make me better. I also think my job is giving me confidence because I can see my own progress. Now, that is the important part of using a simple structure like I think. Okay, let's move on to the second idea or the second, the second method or the second structure that we are talking about. All right, I feel. Now, why do you think I feel is useful? All right, I feel almost allows you to express your emotions and reactions. Please keep that in mind. That is, it makes a person clearly kind of give out the information that he wants to give out, and it is pretty clear when you use I feel as a phrase. It makes your speaking sound more human. All right, more relatable. So when you talk about your feelings, your answer automatically becomes longer and more meaningful. So let us look at some examples. I feel happy today. I feel stressed about my exam. I feel confident when I practice daily. Let's look at the elaborated version. And my topic for today on the structure I feel is how you feel when learning. Okay, I feel good when I'm learning something new. Great. Okay, and it gives me a sense of progress. Sometimes learning is difficult, but I feel proud. See, again, I have ended up using I feel as my base structure. And I'm just going on elaborating the point that I really want to talk about. So, but I feel proud when I finally understand an idea. I feel more motivated to continue because learning makes me feel strong and capable. Great. It sounds automatically enhanced. So, this is quite the importance that I really want to kind of focus on today. Quickly moving on to structure number three, I prefer. Now, all of us know that prefer is when certain choices come into picture wherein we are comparing two or more things, all right? So, I prefer is great for showing choices or comparisons, as I already told you, and it helps you to sound mature. All right, it helps you to sound logical and clear at the same time because you can explain why one of your option is better than the other that you have chosen. And this structure is extremely important for job interviews. Please keep that in mind. Also important for professional speaking. In simple words, it shows which option you like more. Let's look at the elaborated version. I'm going to skip this part. When I'm reading or when I'm actually going through the elaborated version, you can just keep an eye on the smaller examples if you want. All right. So let's move on to this. So I prefer online learning because it's more comfortable for me. Actually, it's comfortable for every one of us. I can study at my own time. I can watch lessons again. And if I don't understand something, I prefer. You can see we have again used I prefer here. You can freely use this particular structure again, probably like two or three times in the same elaborated section of your content. All right. So I prefer online classes because they save travel time. Absolutely true. And help me focus better at home. Great. Amazing. So just keep in mind when you use I prefer, there should be something like a kind of a choice preference that has been given in your topic. For example, the topic here is online versus offline. So use the structure I prefer so that you give time to your brain to analyze the upcoming sentence or to kind of articulate the upcoming sentence. Let's move on to structure number four. I usually. All right. Now, I usually is perfect for talking about habits, routines, and daily activities. Okay, it helps you describe your lifestyle in a simple and detailed way. Also, this structure I usually can be used in interviews, and also it can be used to clear the part 1 or the section 1 of your IELTS speaking test and introductions. Very important because introductions is something that we come across in our daily lives even when we are looking at talking to normal people, or it can be a daily conversation as well. So introductions are pretty much a part of everyone's life, so you can use usually there as and when you like. Okay, and now just looking at the examples here. I usually wake up at 6. I usually read for 10 minutes before sleeping or bedtime. I usually speak English with my friends. Great, right? So it shows what you do regularly or most of your or most off with your time, like when you're free, what you usually do is what we are looking at. Topic over here is, you can see, is morning routine. Now let me go ahead and quickly read this part for you. I usually start my morning slowly. I wake up, I drink some water and take a few minutes to plan my day. I usually check my messages and think about my goals for the day. This simple routine helps me feel calm and ready to work. Now, that's as simple as it gets. Okay, so let's move on to the last structure of the day. I want to. Why is it useful? Now, why is this structure useful? I want to helps you to express your goals, your dreams, your future, your plans, your wishes, and your ambitions. Pretty great structure if you ask me. Okay, this structure makes your answers personal and powerful at the same time because it tells people what you care about. It works in interviews and everyday conversations as well. Let's quickly look at the elaborated the example for the day for this particular structure, and the topic is dream destination. Great. Every one of us have the dream destination. All right, so let's go on and look at what this particular paragraph is talking about. I want to visit Japan one day. A beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place to visit. I want to see the culture, the food, and the peaceful places. I want to walk in the streets, try local dishes, and experience the mix of traditions and modern life. It's a dream. I want. You can see here, it's not necessary that you start with the structure can actually fit in midst of the conversation as well, in the sense that you can keep the structure in the middle of the content that you're presenting, in an interview or in your daily conversation. So it is a dream I want to follow in the future. Great. Okay, so now let's kind of talk about the overall benefit of this. The structures that I just spoke to you are very powerful because it helps you to express emotions, okay, goals, right, routines, and choices, along with your personal reactions, your emotions, and your ideas, along with small thoughts. So this is why these structures are said to be something that are widely used. Even when you speak to any of the native speakers, they kind of prominently use these structures. So if you can express how you feel, you sound more human, right? The whole point is sounding human and more fluent. Let's get on to the section 3 for today, and it is the guided practice segment 1. Segment 1, in the sense, is something related to our first structure, that is, I think. Now, here in the section 3, I would personally want you to kind of pause and uh, add some of the sentence, or add anything that you want, and pick up any one topic from the options given here, that is your job or study, your favorite food, your daily routine, something you learned yesterday, something about English. You can just take any of the topic here. Just for the sake of an example, I have kind of, highlighted it in the yellow box. You see here, the topic is your job or study. All right. So when I say your job or study, it is very simple to kind of use I think, and you're kind of going to say, you're going to say the topic, that is, I think my studies are helping me improve day by day. All right. So what I mean to say by the whole thing is just kind of pause the video and just give it a thought and try to elaborate. I'm just going to keep quiet. Let us just give you that time. Please go ahead and pause the video. Okay, great. So now let's move on to the second segment, that is I feel. Now, you can see this structure was our second structure that I spoke about. You can do the same drill, pause the video, and kind of give yourself a minute or two. Use any one of the topic that has been given from here. The topic example I have clearly highlighted in the green box here. You see how you feel when you're learning. So that's one of our topics, all right? How you feel when learning. uh, kind of try to relate with how you feel when you're learning, and try to articulate, or try to kind of make a sentence. Give yourself that time and try to understand how important it is to use structures like this. Please go ahead and pause the video. I'm not going to just wait now. I'm going to go ahead with this with the session. I just waited for the first structure. All right, please pause the video, take the time, and elaborate in your own way. So the third structure is I prefer. I kind of told you a few minutes ago that I prefer is used when opinions, or I'm sorry, when options are given. So here the prompts are tea, coffee, morning, night, online, offline, reading or watching, traveling or relaxing. So you can see in the yellow box that has been already highlighted for you a simple example: tea, coffee. All right, I pretty much say that I prefer both tea, coffee, because I cannot stick to one. So both tea and coffee are my favorite. All right, see how nice that sentence sounds, because I used something known as a structure. I prefer. All right, great. So an example over here is I prefer tea because it makes me feel relaxed. Great. Now, same drill for the next section or the next segment as well. I usually, all right, topics or the prompts are morning routine, weekend routine, eating habits, travel habits, study habits. All right, so there is a simple example here. Please go through the example once before you try it on your own, and I think it becomes quite easy from there. Please go ahead and try it for me. Try to pause the video and kind of give your own sentence. All right, great. Now, that is what is the importance of all these structures, when I kind of told you that they actually help you to enhance the way you speak. All right, the last segment or the last structure is I want to, which is very important in our interviews and in our daily conversations, because it really helps you to put yourself out there. Okay, great. Now, let's quickly look at the topics given for today in the form of prompts. All right, your learning goals, your dream destination, your fitness goals, okay, your ideal job, and your skill improvement goal. Please kindly go ahead and take some time to kind of use this topic and elaborate according to your own choice of the topic. Okay, before that, go ahead and read the example that has been highlighted in yellow, and I think pretty much you might have got the drill by now. That is I want and your sentence. Okay, so that is what I kind of wanted to focus on today, like how we exactly try to enhance our proficiency by simple methods. And at GK Pro, I promise you that we have got better methods and better analogies to speak to. Please trust us when I say that we are here to improve your English. All right. Let's move on quickly to the section 4, where I'm going to talk about the most important section. Why? Why do you think we actually need these structures? Okay. The, these structures are pretty much really simple. All right. According to me, everyone uses these, like I want, I usually, I prefer. Definitely they use it. But why? Why do you think it is important? I just want to explain something very crucial about these five structures. They are not just classroom tools in the sense, no one teaches all this to you when you were in your school, or you might have never come across the importance of all these phrases. But they are real life speaking tools. That is, when you use it every single day, you kind of understand the pattern, and you're giving that amount of time to yourself and your brain to articulate the following sentence. Okay, so before we practice more, I want you to kind of understand why these five structures are so powerful. All right, so just kind of look at the whole thing here. Okay, we are just going to kind of look at what exactly more we can do with these structures. How to add one extra detail to make longer answers. Now, this is something very important and very beautiful. The point that I want to share with you today is these structures in themselves are very important to keep in your mind. You can actually memorize them, but what after that? What can a person do after that is the point here. Now, adding extra details is something which every one of us already know, but practically we don't do that. All right, what do I mean by that? I'm just going to let you know. Okay, let's go on with the session. So, add one small detail here. All right, add one small detail. In the sense, think about this, okay? If I say I think English will help me. Now if I say a sentence like I think English will help me, and I just keep quiet, now that looks really kind of incomplete. If you're adding that extra detail, it makes you feel automatically fluent. It makes the person listening to you feel, oh, they are talking really good English. Okay, now that's what is the whole point or the whole idea. All right, so let's go ahead and look at some examples of what I'm talking about when I'm talking about extra details. Okay. Okay, great. So I think English will help me better. I'm sorry, help me grow faster because it gives me more chances. Great. Now I feel motivated today. I feel motivated today anyhow. But why? Because I finished a task, right? I prefer online classes. Again, why? As they save time, or they are pretty much flexible, or I can sit at any part of the world and attend a class, so it can be any reason. All right, so I usually speak in English for 10 minutes when I wake up. Okay, that's something very important. In order to enhance your English and in order to improve your English, you really need to be consistent in the way you practice speaking. Okay, that's another add-on. So I want to travel, I want to travel, that's it, I want to travel doesn't really sound complete. Okay, now if you add this extra detail here, just one extra point I'm talking about. Look at this. I want to travel abroad to learn about new cultures. Amazing. Okay. That is the whole point. Now, let's look at something known as the biggest mistake any person can do when you're using these five structures. Many learners only say the structure and stop. Something like, I think English is good. But why? Why do you think English is good? You need to add that extra detail. I feel happy. Why? Why do you feel happy? Why is the question? Okay, you need to understand, you need to answer that why question to yourself, and there you're automatically increasing your fluency in English along with your the structure that we spoke about. Okay, I prefer coffee. Why? Because it is an international or universal drink that helps people wake up. All right, so these answers are too short. They sound like one word answers. Please do not do this big mistake. Never do this big mistake of using these structures on their own. Kind of go for that extra, kind of go for this extra detail part, which I spoke about a few minutes ago. Okay, great. Let's move on. All right. Now let's kind of look at how these five structures help you in real life. Okay. You can use these structures in small talk. Small talk? What exactly is small talk? Small talk is when you casually talk to your colleagues, your neighbors, your classmates, or even shopkeepers. They help you to avoid short, awkward answers and speak smoothly. Okay? Trust me when I say that it actually works. You can use them next in interviews. Very, very important in every one of the person that is trying to, every one of the people that are trying to, kind of get into enhancing their English. It's very important to bag that interview. So you can use them in interviews when you need to explain your background, your experience, or your opinions clearly. You need these five structures. Also, these structures help you to organize your thoughts, okay, instead of panicking or stopping. One of the most important thing that we need to understand as learners is that we kind of come across a lot of fillers. Many a times we kind of use a lot of ums and ahs. Now there you can use the structures as well. They help you to stop, instead of panicking or stopping, they help you in turn to sound fluent. Also, you can use them in presentations when you want to sound confident, logical, and easy to understand. Okay, you can use them there as well. Next, you also can use them when you're meeting new people. A very, very important thing in our daily lives, we meet new people because they help you respond naturally. All right, and continue the conversation, and you also sound friendly instead of nervous. Now, next, look at this point. Very important, daily conversations, okay? At home, at work, or with friends. They help you say more than just one-liners and express yourself better. And very importantly, you can use them in an exam known as the IELTS part 1 answering section in your speaking your speaking section. Actually, when the speaking part comes, you can use it in the part 1, because speaking section in the IELTS exam has 3 parts. You can use them when you're introducing yourself. Okay, they obviously help you to sound friendly, clear, and confident at the same time. All right. Overall, these structures also help you to sound more friendly, okay, as I told you, all right, clear, and it feels like you already are at a certain level where you're not struggling. Okay, great. So that's why learning these structures is not about exams or classes. It's also about real communication in real life. Now, there is something really important that I want you to understand or talk about in this class, that is the day 4 of your spoken English by GK Pro Academy. Now, this is something really, really important. Please listen to me and stay tuned, all right? How to combine two structures for advanced speaking. As I told you when these classes started, from day one itself, that we are not looking forward to kind of improve your grammar. Grammar is already there. However, we are going to kind of teach you how to strategically talk and how to use certain methodologies that will help you to sound proficient. That is what our goal and aim at GK Pro is. Okay. So after you get comfortable with the kind of using those structures, that is, I prefer, I want, uh, the structures that we spoke about earlier, I want you to join two structures. Okay. I want you to join two structures. And why do you think I'm telling you to join two structures? Like I think and I prefer when you're talking about something, or I want and I like or I prefer when you're talking about something else. Now, why do you think that that should be done? Okay, just try to think about what I'm asking. Why do you think am I telling you to kind of combine, in the sense plus mark? All right, combine two structures for advanced speaking. That's because your answers become longer, clearer, and more natural, and you're not memorizing advanced grammar. You're just simply connecting ideas smoothly. All right. And this step is what slowly helps you to move from B1 to B2 level, or whatever level you are at now. It helps you to ladder up, in the sense, revamp yourself. Okay. So let's look at some examples so that you kind of get my point or the picture clearly. So after you get comfortable, you can join two structures. Let's look at an example. As I told you, I think learning English is useful, and I usually, look at this. We are using, okay, we are using I think, okay, along with this, that is, I usually practice it in the morning. Next, I prefer online classes and I feel. So when you kind of listen to it's actually a pretty small sentence. However, when you look at it on the screen, you feel like, wow, this sounds so nice. Okay, I prefer online classes and I feel more relaxed when I study at home. Amazing, amazing use of structures. I want to travel abroad and I think Japan is my favorite destination or dream destination, or you can just add the adjectives. Now, this is how you slowly move from B1 to B2, or A1 to A2, or C1 to C2. All right. That is how combining the two structures for advanced speaking actually works. So that is something that I really wanted to share with you, all right, so that you feel benefited at the end of the free classes that we are giving here at GK Pro. Kindly, try to relate with me when I'm kind of telling you that we are here to give you that GPS system in order to speak English proficiently, and that is what we do here. All right. So let's take a quick challenge. Okay. So now I want you to try a small challenge by pausing this video. Take any structure and add in the sense you can take I think, or you can take I prefer, or you can take I feel, or I want, or I usually. Any of these structures, add one reason to it, add one example, and add one detail to it. Now, what exactly this does is actually very simple. It gives you 10 to 15 seconds of answering capacity, which is perfect for everyday speaking, perfect for interviews, perfect for your, the presentations, and that's it. It's that simple. All right. Let's look at an example in this section here. Okay. That is, I prefer online classes because they are flexible. For example, I can study at night because you can add a because here. Okay. It helps me learn better. All right. So I hope you got the gist of today's class. Now you understand how to add a value sentence to your introduction, a value sentence to your presentations, add some weightage to the way you speak. So this small line or these small phrases make your speaking clearer, more confident, and more professional. In the next lesson, we will take this further and learn how these structures are used in real conversations. So please keep practicing and you will see the difference. Guys, thank you so much for trusting us and joining today's session as well. I hope you have a great day ahead. Thank you so much once again.